Thank you for taking time in joining us today to find out how much 1970 Washington quarters are worth. So welcome. So we're gonna, if you're maybe possibly going through change and you possibly happen to pull out one of these older quarters, they're getting a little tougher to find in good condition. But what if you came across one that looked pretty nice, not as worn as the rest? Well, you've probably come to my channel to find out more information. And this date right here, although, not, they're one of the more marquee dates in Washington quarter collecting, this particular date here has a lot going for it. So we're going to discuss the valuation of both the Philadelphia minted coins, which will not have a mint mark next to George Washington's ribbon on his hair. And we're also going to look at the Denver minted coins, and then you'll see a little bit of a tiny letter D in that same spot. So, what can we start out with here? Well, let's start out with the 1970s. This is actually going to be a little bit of a quick run through on this particular date. So the mintage for the 1970 is quite sizable. The U.S. Mint produced 136,420,000 individual pieces. Now, is there that many out there? Probably not. Through attrition and just, some coins being lost over time, that number is down a little bit. So the real question is, what percentage of this amount, it exists in nice condition, A-thing, mint state grades, BU? Well, it's going to be a very small percentage, probably less than 5% of this total population has been set aside, okay, for future generations of collecting. So the 1970 Philadelphia coin in itself has no significant varieties, no double dies, nothing of that nature. However, you could probably find an error like a retained die break, which is also called a cud. Those are also in there. On the reverse of the coin right here, again, no significant varieties, no double dies, anything of that nature. Just keep your eye out on any errors, die breaks, cracks, things of that nature. Value-wise on these coins, the 1970, again, very plentiful in circulated grades. They're not worth anything over face value. However, if you have full rolls, or maybe you've come across a nice, brilliant, uncirculated specimen while you're coin roll hunting, or maybe you just pulled one out of your pocket change, those typically command anywhere from $1 to $4 on places like eBay. So if you wanted to sell it, that's how much you would expect to get. It's not a whole lot, but your best route for something like this is just to keep it, put it in an album. They're nice coins, okay, but again, not rare. So the second coin that I want to talk about is the 1970 Denver minted example. As you see right here, just like 1970, these are extremely plentiful. The total mintage on this from the U.S. Mint is 417,341,364. So there is a ton of them out there. These things should be growing on trees. That's how many there are. And just like the 1970 Philadelphia, these coins come up pretty often circulated. Okay, very rarely are you going to see one that's brilliant uncirculated right out of change. So we're going to talk about the valuation of this here in a second. What I will mention, because 1970 is kind of a different point in the mintage of these coins, we're coming up to the end of the 40% planchets that the U.S. Mint used on the half dollars and a few other things. The U.S. Mint really stepped up their quality on the planchets of these 1970 quarters. So compared to, say, 1968 and 1969, the quarters that you see in 1970 and up are in much better quality, much better shape coming out of the mint than they were in the previous years. So you'll find a lot of these coins with absolutely brilliant luster in brilliant uncirculated condition type coins. And very rarely you can find a with a ton of nicks, as far as a brilliant coin is concerned. The overall valuation of this coin, raw, and raw being it's not graded. So again, there's enough of them out there that the coin is only worth face value if it's pretty well circulated. So 25 cents. Higher graded coins, raw, singular, again, $1 to $4 online. $4 for really nice, like eye appeal looking coins. So they're worth a few bucks. All right, ungraded. Let's go ahead and talk about the graded aspect of both the Philly and Denver. So the Philadelphia minted coins are comparatively a lot tougher to find in grades above mint state 66. There is only 25 examples graded at 67 through PCGS, who is a third-party grading company. There is also 2 at 67 plus, and none graded in mint state 68. So mint state 67 plus is the top end grade for this date. For the 1970D, this one is a lot more plentiful in the higher grades. So in mint state 67, PCGS has a population number of 240. In 67 plus, there's 14. And finally, in mint state 68, there are 7. So the mint state 67 plus 1970P, the Philly coin, again, with the 2 only examples, those are pricey coins. Typically, those will command anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 in an online auction setting. For the 1970D, because there's considerably a lot more higher graded coins, those are only worth about between $500 and $1,000 in the mint state 68 grade. There's just so many of them out there that they've that's the price that they've settled at. So both absolutely phenomenal coins. Again, better quality and all that. But the 1970 Denver coin has a number of various varieties that you guys need to look for. All right, and these are all fantastic double dies, by the way. There's 2 notable obverse double dies. So those are the varieties on the front of the coin with where Washington is. And there's also 2 significant double die reverses that you'll want to keep your eye out on. The one that you see on screen here is the most notable for this date. As you can see, you see quite a bit of doubling on the date and on the motto of "In God We Trust," where I have circled here. So you'll definitely want to keep an eye out for these. These are extremely valuable. For example, if you found one raw right out of pocket change, that's a coin that you could turn around and sell for about $25 to $75. Okay, 75 being the topper end of the grade scale for that coin. Graded examples have sold for a few $1,000s in grades as low as AU, all right, which is not quite uncirculated. It has a little bit of wear, but it's nice enough to show more detail and a little bit more luster. So this is another phenomenal variety that's hidden within the 1970D. Unfortunately, again, the 1970 Philadelphia coins don't have any sort of varieties notated on there. So here we are to the very end of this video, and some of you are probably asking, because you've heard about it, about this 1970 Washington quarter that you could find struck over Canadian quarters, okay, specifically the early silver Canadian quarters. Well, this is a, there aren't too many of these. I think it's more of a one-off error, okay. The one that you see here, by the way, is the Mike Byers specimen. Mike Byers is one of the big error guys in the community, and this was his, and he was asking $35,000 for this example. So this coin that you see here is a 1970S. Now keep in mind, this is a proof coin and not a regular business strike coin like we've been talking about earlier in the video. So this is struck over a 1941 silver Canada quarter. All right, keep in mind, this is going to be an 80% silver coin. So you'll only be able to find this in a proof set if you're actually looking and not out in circulation. I know people have been finding things that appear to look like a quarter struck over a Canada quarter, and it's just not the case because it's not this proof coin. So you'll want to, if you have one and you found one in a proof set, you'll want to weigh it. Okay, it should weigh 5.63 grams. Now take a look at these images here. You can actually see the actual old quarter details from that Canadian quarter on this this Washington quarter. So it's really neat. You see a lot of detail. It's more evident on the front of the coin, although if you flip the coin on its back, you get some of that detail, and you can actually see the date 1941 just above dollar on the reverse, and it would be upside down. So keep in mind, this is a proof coin. All right, so you're not going to be able to find one of these just out in circulation. So I wanted to debunk that. But if you did find one in a proof set, these things are extremely valuable. They're worth many tens of thousands of dollars. So I hope that wasn't too comprehensive, but you know what? That's all the information on the 1970 Washington quarters. As always, you know what? The next gem, the next piece of treasure could be sitting right in your pocket. So come see me for any other coin values that you need help on. The best way that you could support my channel, as always, is to like, share, subscribe. So hit that like button and go ahead and throw in a quick comment if you like. And you can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So those are my social media outlets that you can check me out on. I appreciate your guys' time. Hope you found a good one. Stay tuned for more What's It Worth videos, and take care. Have a great day.